Is anyone here yet? Nope. Oh, hello there. Just getting word out there about the stream. Yeah. If you can't tell by the title, yeah, there's not going to be a Croneo video this month. Unfortunately. And the reason why is because an artist needs more time, but I've been working on the video after that. Oh. Hi, Will. Did not realize that was you. But, yeah, thank you for saying hi, and check out the video posted on the Hoon channel that I did to see if it's good. Let me know via DMs. Thank you. Thank you. I hope the lack of music in it wasn't a turn off. Because it was more of a talky kind of video. Yeah. I had fun writing it, and it wasn't fun to have to re-record it, but I'm glad I got it around 20 minutes. That was, it should be any longer than it ended up being. I am greeted by the presence of a new viewer. And I don't know if they left or if Maddox left. Because I can't actually see who the concurrent viewers are. Oh, me? Am I the only viewer? Huh. Because it should say, like, 0 in that case. I'm gonna play Pokemon Go. I'm gonna play Pokemon Go for those in the... Yeah, Pokemon. It's a fun series. I've been I was playing it earlier, and it's fun. Just who has joined? Oh, okay. I can't actually tell who be the viewers, so please make yourselves known if you are watching, so I can say hello and properly address stuff. Also, Will, please do not raid the stream again. I swear to God. um, but yeah. I wonder who the second viewer is. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm playing Pokemon Go. I'm just gonna get Oh wait. Oh no. Looks like I can't access that today. Um, I was gonna be using the mystery. Okay, thanks, Will. But I hope the others do not. Um, yeah, I'm just looking on my phone on Twitter because I was going to be playing Pokemon Go while I was waiting, but never mind. Uh, I'm gonna put the phone down. On which site, Will? If it's on this one, I don't know how to do that. It was his fault for reading the stream the first time. And if it's on Twitter, I swear I've already done that. Yeah, Jean, if you're watching this, I do not know how to unblock on YouTube, actually. Jean, I am sorry, I do not know how to unblock you. Like, for those who um don't know how I'm responding, it's because DMs exist. So, um, yeah. Yeah, Squirrel's pretty cool. I uh, for those in my Pokemon audience who might be watching this back or are present because there are 3 viewers and I don't know who the 3 are. I know that Will and John are 2 of them. But I've been trying to do a living Pokedex, and for the Kanto starters, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and their evolutions, I've done an interesting thing where I traded them to Gen 2. Well, I generated them in like Pokemon Blue, traded them over to Pokemon Crystal on another 3DS, um, bred them a bit, and then traded them up so they read us from Gen 2 because they do not actually appear natively in any Gen 2 game. So them alongside um, the fossils and the legendaries are not natively generated. So there you go. Make a spanner Pokemon. I do not know what spanners have to do with Scotland, Jean, or Canada. I realize I probably should make a Pokemon that has a gender difference, and from how I've sorted things out, now I kinda actually need to make a new one, but I don't have an idea. So, maybe. I mean, my ideas, I'm thinking I know people in Scotland use tools, but so do people everywhere. Like, I might as well make an oxygen Pokemon. Like, you know, I don't see any point in doing that. There needs to be like, well, for me, because I like making stuff connect to my region's themes, whether that be story based or based on the locations I am taking inspiration from. I prefer there to be some sort of connection. Um, but yeah, I see there are five. There are five viewers at the moment. Here's the thing, I'm actually considering there's a character called Looker in Pokemon who very much gives off David Tennant energy, as in specifically David Tennant as the 10th Doctor. So I'm thinking why not incorporate all the Scottish Doctors in some form? Yo, Luke X-Ray Draw Stuff. How you doing? Just speaking about how I because I am gonna bring back Looker. Like, if Pokemon fans are saying, "Oh, look, this is the David Tennant Pokemon character, and David Tennant's Scottish," why wouldn't I, you know? Um, I because yeah, I will bring Looker back, but, I won't play those cards until much later in this project because he's integrated into like post game slash DLC stuff that I am not sure what yet. I'm leaning towards calling it the DLC, but it could just be post game. I don't know. Well, I'm saying it as if this was an actual game, which it's not at the moment. No one's come forward and said, "Hey, I can develop game. Here's my evidence that I can develop game. Can I develop game?" Like, no one's actually been like that. And I probably wouldn't ask until I'm much later into Croneo region, just as a project to make it a fan game, so oh well. Um, like, although there's not been much in the way of Croneo region content on YouTube recently, it's not as if it's dead at the moment because like the Instagram's still going strong, but now I've ran out of mon that I've revealed on YouTube, so now I'm going into my backlog of mon that were going to be in this month's video, but I've delayed this month's video now, so um Luke Luke X-Ray draw stuff. I honestly wish I was skilled enough to develop a game. Honestly, same. But my mediocre art skills shall suffice. I don't even have mediocre art skills, mate. I wonder if I've seen your art before. I'm not entirely sure. I try to be as active as I can within the Fake Mon community and the community of people that are nice enough to watch me. Like I try to be as engaged as possible. Are you the person that was making the Gen 5 sprites? Let me see. because someone on my Discord server was actually making a Buttercub Gen 5 sprite, and so far, although I don't think it's quite there, it's so good. Like, honestly, it's capturing Buttercup right. Maybe I might have seen your stuff on Instagram. What's your Instagram again? Uh, I'm on Instagram right now, so I can just have a quick look. All right. I don't think I've seen these before, but I'll give you a follow because I do like the look of these. I see you've also done a grass starter. Um, I'll also follow your other account. There we go. Yeah, you're Gen 26. Jean, you're from the future. No, you're from like a bajillion years in the future. No problem. Yeah. So, speaking of Instagram, I'm gonna check my main account's DMs. I don't encourage people to follow my main anymore. Um, well, I say my main, like I call it my main. It's my personal account, and I'm thinking, yeah, Z equals 96 and seasons. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, John. That was a joke. I need post to my main. I did recently. Like, I don't really have much I want to put on there really on my personal account because like I don't really like taking selfies. I think I always look uncomfortable in them. Um and my Pokemon account is just basically the account I use to just run things. But I still use my main mainly to look at stuff and to contact the artists because honestly I use Instagram more as a consumer than a content creator when it comes to my personal account. So that's the thing I'm actually most often on. But I'm on like I use my Pokemon account on my phone because it's just easier, I guess. And well, it's easier to post the stories on a phone. So that's what I use to manage YouTube stuff, really. So I don't think I'm going to run out of content for that for quite some time. Um, I'll actually need to check when everything will be coming out on my Instagram because the luckily although two of the six designs I'm getting an artist who needs more time to do are done, those two require three of the others to post. So that it's just not ready. There's 6 designs that aren't ready, but luckily, I had like how many other designs are there for me to post after? I mean, there's I can post for like another 4 weeks on Instagram before I'll need to start going into the next video, which I think could enter production soon. I just need to finish the script for the most part. Because I'm getting PokeJamon to do 2 new evolutions to already existing Pokemon. Oh, that actually reminds me, I need to get my partner to um have another pass at another new evolution. Um yeah. And I mean I've got the first 2 stages of my regional bird done. I just need the last stage to get done. Got my regional rodent done. I've got my regional fish done. All I need now is what for my third stage regional bird. The finishing touches on the 3 new evolutions to older Pokemon, and uh, I'm on that. I'm only putting in that video because I'm going to be releasing it next month. Next month's Halloween, spooky season. I think it would work well with that Pokemon, and hopefully I can post that stage close to Halloween. That's why I need to check, actually. I'm going to open up calendar. I'm going to open up a calendar app just to check. So I can post this 3-stage line next week, and then another the following week, and that's September done. Oh, hello, Lucario. I am doing okay. This is the region, or this is the channel where the Croneo region is discussed. Problem: I won't be discussing it in anything other than like live stream format this month because I'm delaying this month's video for some point. But other than uh making sure my plans work out, I'm fine. And hello, Jet Strike. What do you think of camels? They are my favorite animals. Camels are pretty cool. I've always found camels quite interesting. Because I've always been interested in like their humps. I don't know what not well, I say interested. I don't really think about camels often, but like camels are quite interesting, and I think, you know, I th in terms of how they've been represented in Pokemon, which isn't the question, but I've already answered the question. I might as well keep it to Pokemon. Yeah, I think Camerupt is cool, and Numel is cool, and I like how Numel is 1 hump and Camerupt is 2 humps, and Camerupt's 2 humps are volcanoes. I was actually going to do a Cronian Camerupt, but because I recently had a crisis because the concept's very similar to Mycomon Regions and his Cedrian Torkoal. But luckily, I've changed the concept, and unfortunately, I have changed the Pokemon I'm doing the variant of. Hoenn will still get some appreciation. I mean, it already has. Like, I've done the Zigzagoon line, but I'm. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna give any other Hoenn. I mean, no, I am gonna give 1 Hoenn Pokemon at least, from the top of my head, 1 Hoenn Pokemon a regional variant. But most of the Hoenn representation will be through Mon that evolved from already existing Hoenn Mon. Because I just had ideas, and I think they worked. Yeah. A lot of people actually did that idea. Yeah, and I'm still kinda gonna do that yeah, with camera. I'm gonna go an interesting way. I'm gonna do a similar idea, but with other elements added in with another Mon. Another fire type Mon. One which you might be able to guess if you think about hard enough. But I don't want to give stuff away. I'm gonna save that for when I do the Canadian Mon video because I want it to be more Canadian based. Um, three different ones off your head. Which ones? Um, yeah, I was just looking at the calendar to see could I post a Mon that's very Halloween or upon a Mon that I'm planning to show off next month because Halloween. Can I post it on or near Halloween? And I could post it on Halloween. That seems very much possible. But yeah, Jet Strike, which three could you name from the top of your head? I recommend everyone popping questions in chat. I should have really said this as like a Q&A stream. We can actually name 4 different hot string numbers. Mhm. Okay, fair enough. So I'm not gonna do number one camera up. And it was less so gonna be like hot spring based, more geyser based, and I'm definitely gonna go for natural hot water steam kind of thing for my mon. Uh, um, yeah. Apologies if I seemed a bit pushy there, Jet Strike. I understand. English is not your first language, so fair enough. Um, I mean, that's the great thing about Pokemon. You know, it it reaches all of us all across the world. Yeah, geysers. But I mean, Cedrian Torkoal is. I would say Torkoal itself was more geysery, and then its evolution was, or not geysery, hot springy. Then its evolution was geysery. I think the idea made most sense with something like Camerupt because it's an erupting geyser. But you know, uh, I've just got music stuck in my head right now, and it's like, oh, pardon me, like because I watch a YouTuber called Anthony Vincent, and he does like songs in 10 styles or 10 songs in one style, and I've got some of the latter stuck in my head, and there are no viewers. Rest in peace. This stream's dead. Um oh wait, you're back. Okay. It just says on my end that there are no viewers. That's the problem. It's weird because I can see your messages, but I can't actually see that there are any viewers, which is weird. Because StreamYard's a bit weird like that. Yeah, Croneo's Pokedex is gonna be changing a little bit, like long term wise. Um, I'm just the thing is I'm gonna like need to make sure my 3 new additions to the decks count in the right way, if that makes sense. So yeah. Um, because I've been looking at Croneo's decks, and I am not doing enough ground types. Um, there are other regions that scarcely lack other types, such as like electric. Electric's a hard one, but I think ground in theory is harder because how do you make something ground? Luckily, I've revised an idea, and I'm finalizing another, but I'm thinking I should add another ground type mon. And I don't know. Do you think Chronic Abominable is somehow an evolutionary link between Alolan Crabominable and Cloth? I think Cloth. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's weird because it's, you know. I think, like, the weird thing is that, I think I posted the video before Cloth was announced, but I posted it after on Instagram. But, yeah, so it's a weird thing. But I do feel like Croneo Crabominable is definitely a closer relative to Cloth than Alolan Crabominable is. With the two, I'm not saying one of them came first. I think they both just have an ancestor. With Crabominable, like there's like a Crabominable that was like both, but one adapted to more colder climates like Mount Lanakila, or in the Croneo region, the Icy Rock, which will make a return. Don't worry, the stones for the evolutions will stay as well. But also, I'm gonna make the Icy Rock earlier in the game because if you want a Glaceon, you should be able to get it. It would be after the third gym before the fourth, so it's not like so early, but it's like it's not after the seventh gym at the earliest. It's after the third gym before the fourth is where you'd get it. Oh, the unused type combos video. Well, the first part's out. The second part was actually going to be out this month, but I'm delaying it. So, also speaking of, Grafii was announced since I uploaded that video. So, yeah, so one of those types is now used. Um, I stand by my creative choices. I feel like now I probably would feel more free to add the ghost type, but I still feel like the normal type works and the poison type works um for Ratikin with the ability. Yeah, I think the justification I gave it works really well with the design and all that, and I think I'm not going to change it now, and I don't think if it ever became a game I would change it. If it was a case of I were starting again from scratch, I might, but I'm not gonna restart this region project. I feel like I started strong. I feel like I just need to make sure everything I put out from now on continues that strength, just like carrying from strength to strength. And I feel like there may have been a stumble here and there, but you know, I don't think any of my concepts have actually been bad, personally. Although the Instagram comments section haven't been the kindest towards my Zigzagoon variant, which I'm very sad about because I love it. But yeah, I also love Grafii, and may use it on my team. Um, Something I'm definitely going to use on my team is Ceruledge. Like that thing's so cool. I love it so much. I want one. I want one now. Um, yeah, it's weird. Like I've not actually publicly showcased my um dragon type or the first Croneo dragon type or the first um Croneo ghost type. But yeah, ice is the hardest type to make Pokemon out of. I've actually found ice type, although ice isn't necessarily a common new type in Croneo, I feel like there are things you can do with it. Because if you think about ice as less so it's the frozen water type and more it's coldness incarnate. Um, that's the thing you can add things to. And the first ice type in the Croneo region, I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think the design concept was pretty. Actually, no, wait, yeah, I'm happy with both the first two ice types because I don't know. I personally didn't find ice types too much of a challenge. They just cropped up occasionally. Um, I felt like I have enough ice types in the game. Like, the thing is, if you do what, say, Loxton did and have ice type fossils, which I'm gonna do, but not exclusively, I'm gonna have a variety of different fossil flavors, as it were. I say variety, there's um I'm only doing 8 new designs, but 3 of which are ice type. Um, funnily enough. But yeah, like I do think ice is something that can be done. I don't I feel like you can add the ice element to something. It does have to make somewhat sense with the overall design concept, but it can be simple, it can be complex. I think ice is doable, and um I've already forgotten why Satitan is ice type, but do you know what? It's cool and it looks nice. You know, the spikes give me like icicle vibes, and yeah. Um, that being said, after unused type combos 2, there's not going to be an ice type mon showcase for like the rest of the year, and yeah, it's ice type because it's based on different types of Arctic wells. Yeah, that's fair enough. Like if it's based on animals that live in a cold environment, giving it the ice type, I think makes sense. Like I'm gonna do the same thing. I think I've already done the same thing with the Pupsky and Gracier. Yeah, with Pupsky and Gracier, which I'm glad got well received. Like they were so well received, and honestly, I feel like the artist doesn't get enough credit. Um, like he's pretty good, and I am working with him again to do my regional bird. Which, by the way, yes, I know I already have multiple bird Pokemon showcased with the Falco Flying and Orpith but like neither of them count as the regional bird because Rowlet didn't. So because we also got Toucanon. So I've got my own specific regional bird, so ice types are hard from yeah. Doesn't have snow there, and you haven't seen snow in your life. I've not seen snow in a long time, or I've not seen like vast amounts of snow in a long time. It has snowed here, but climate change is a thing, so snow is becoming a rarer thing to see in Scotland. But I have seen snow before. In fact, actually, I tell you what, it did snow enough to make a snowman one time, but like in the past few years. So yeah, that was yeah, man, I miss snow. And one day I mean, I think snow is worth it. It's just cold. But yeah, ice in Egypt, like I feel like yeah, because Egypt is or relatively near the equator compared to like somewhere like Scotland. Um, while at the same time Hawaii is, and Hoenn, the place Hoenn was inspired by, I forget what area of Japan that's called, but the place Hoenn was inspired by, like Alola and Hoenn, are based on places nearer to the equator. So I do feel like it's possible. And I think, like, I'm not sure if there were any Egyptian-inspired Mon in Michael Ryan's Luika region that were ice type. But I mean, okay, hail, yeah. I think the if you're really wanting to go, everything has to be based on something in Egypt, and you don't want to rely just on mythology. I feel like the one thing you can lean on with Pokemon as sort of a crutch if something doesn't quite work out balancing wise is add a mon that you think would be cool that doesn't have any real or that may have ties to one type but can basically be anything and just make it ice type, or just make a regional variant that's ice type. Do what Vulpix did. So you know, I feel like if you're really struggling, slap the ice type onto something for purely balancing purposes. Like I'm gonna be designing a new mon because Instagram layout, and also I need more ground types in my region. So I'm gonna be going in to this making a ground type, maybe a monotype, mono ground type, because even though I'm doing a ground type evolution, I'm hold on. Apologies for that. My dad was wondering how many times the cat has been fed today. Uh, but yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, monotypes. I don't have many in my region, which is annoying. Uh, I remember like today, funnily enough, Michael Ryan. I've been mentioning him a lot today, but he posted a video today about farm animal Pokemon for the Firen region, and all of them were monotype, and he made a point to say it's realistic to have a bunch of Mon be monotype, and I do agree with him. It's just the thing is with Croneo, there's been a lot of designs that work far better if they have more than one type. For example, m- my regional bird, I feel like doesn't necessarily need. Like I feel like because it's based on, well, its evolutions have more of a fishing kind of thing going on. The water type being added to that makes a lot of sense. Um, but yeah, and my regional rodent is based on a mythical creature, mythical fairy creature. Fairy type makes a lot of sense. Normal fairy, might I add, because it's the regional rodent. It's, well, I say regional rodent, early game normal type, because not all of them are rodents. Like rabbits aren't rodents, so why are we counting Bunnelby as a rodent? Dogs aren't rodents, and Zigzagoon's based on the raccoon dog. So yeah, Michael also said that it's fine making a region with a lot of dual types, but it's more realistic to have a lot of monotypes. Yeah, I mean, I want my Fate One region to feel like somewhat realistic, but largely my own thing. And I'm the reason I've got so many dual types isn't because I'm against monotypes. It is because most of my ideas are great with dual types. And maybe with my premium starters, I could have had maybe like Leonage be monograss. I could have had Plabmerel be mono water. with the concept behind Fernox, no, Fire Steel makes too much sense. Mongooses aren't rodents. Oh yeah, they're not. Yeah, so they're early game normal types. I think the Chonk might actually be the early game normal type, but I I don't know. Maybe even like Grafii, but who knows? Either way, like I don't know. I don't think calling them Route One rodents. It's just a catchy name. No, they're the Route One normal type mammals. Um, um, I don't think my uh addition to that category of Pokemon is a rodent, but it's commonly mistaken to be one. So I think it fits really well. That being said, it's not as if they don't do rodents because like Rattata, that's a rodent. Um, yeah. um, when people thought Wooloo was going to be the rodent, I mean, people are probably thinking that about Lechonk right now. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Um, Grafii might be a better fit into what people may think, but I think Wooloo may have started its own trend where it's being followed by Lechonk. Maybe. Because I've just noticed, Lechonk is really popular. Wooloo's really popular. They're both like farm animals. So who knows? I I don't have I don't think I have anything to contribute to that sort of thing. Because I was planning lists back when Gen 8 was new. I was planning lists from the second half of 2020. So we didn't know about Gen 9, so there was no real yeah, they are cute fire mammals that are popular and mononormal type. But yeah, like if something seemed to be a pattern in Gen 8, it was worth considering. I don't have a normal dark variant. In fact, I've got well, two videos that are exclusively dedicated to regional variants. That's the theme. Um, and I think the first regional variant I'm going to show off in the first video is actually going to be the sort of reverse, where it's like I take an early game dark type and make it normal type, as opposed to the other way around. Also, early game dark types are a thing, and I didn't realize that until quite late on. But do you know what? Luckily, I already had an idea that could be reworked into that, and it's being worked on. It's being worked on slowly but surely. A sketch for part of it is done, but yeah. Do I regret making my regions theme past and future because of Scarlet and Violet? I don't. And the thing is, it's not a case of I would have done it anyway if they did. It's just a case of I was already making mine first. I already had my legendaries done before Koraidon and Miraidon were revealed. So there was no way of that, and a lot of the region's themes are or soft themes. I don't think it's going to be as like Croneo. I don't think is going to be as strong as Scarlet and Violet in terms of those themes. But I probably would have tried to go for something different, but I don't know what different I could have gone for. Michael's already doing Brain and Brawn, so I don't see what I could have done differently. And Past and Future was already a popular one to go for. But I've already came up with like the entire lore, and there is like it's just a matter of time before I show it. Like that's already done. That is already done. I already explained the lore and I know the details of it already. Um and I know how that will play into the Legends game and how that would play into everything else. So I'm just like, well, I've already figured that out, and I know Game Freak aren't going to do what I'm doing. So I don't see why I should be regretting based on a common theme, because the themes of the games aren't exclusively that. It's just an aspect like of the legendaries, but it's not as if Koraidon and Miraidon were specifically chosen to by like a time deity to fight off an Ultra Beast. No, that's not gonna be a thing. Are there any other early game dark types other than Poochyena? Purloin, Nickit. It's not the most common thing, but it is a recurring thing. I would say Houndoom would fit that. It does fit, but it doesn't fit because it's not necessarily early game. But from a design concept point of view, you could put it early game and it would still work. What else is early game dark type? Now, although I know it's mono electric, the Shinx line, but I'm just thinking, well, that just looks a bit edgy. It looks like a dark type, and I think they were trying to go for that sort of design. Pancham, Pangoro, they're not that early, but they're like dark types from the first half of the game. For Alola, I think maybe they were utilizing Rattata and Raticate for that, and you may be thinking, oh, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't use a trope on a regional variant. They did in Galar. The regional cat is just Meowth and Berserker. They don't have a separate like Catmon, I don't think. But yeah, it is a trend. It's not a trend that's completely followed, but it's something that I feel like Game Freak considers a bit. Yeah. That's all I have to say on the matter, really. Well, there can be overlap, I think. Yeah, it's meant to be the regional cat, but at the same time, like, I think the regional cat in Alola, if you're not counting Meowth, would be Litten. And that's a starter, and that's its own thing. So things can overlap. Like the early game dark type is just something. Less, it's a thing, but it can be it's some things have their own thing. Lola didn't have a regional cat outside from Meowth too, but they had Listen, which was a cat. So that's why I'm thinking something. Some of the tropes in Pokemon, some of the tropes in the design can overlap. That's why I don't have a proper regional Catmon other than Ocat and Musifer. I'm doing what Alola did because I wanted a fighting type starter. I already had a fighting type Wildcat idea, and so I just made that the starter. Basically, that's literally it. That's as far as my thought process went, and then I developed it, and then it shaped into one of the best Croneo designs in my opinion. But then again, I like all of the bootleg starter designs. I like all of the starter designs, to be honest. I like them all. I like them all a lot. Um, I think the regional dog. I think there's been no overlap so far, apart from maybe Dark type with Hoenn and Johto. And you may be saying, "Oh, but Manectric exists," but Sinnoh had multiple cats. So Hoenn having multiple dogs, I think, is fine. Hello, Gibster. We're just talking about the designs that recur throughout Pokemon, and I don't think they're just a thing in every generation. I think some things happened to have something in every generation, some things don't. Like for example, a Catmon has been in every generation. In Kanto, it's Meowth. In Johto, it's Sneasel. Shut up, it is Sneasel. In in Hoenn, it's Skitty. In Sinnoh, we've got Shinx and Glameow. Well, Fire Dogs only really happened with those two, Jet Strike. In Unova, we got Purloin. In Kalos, we got Meowstick. In Alola, we got Litten. In Galar, we got Berserker, I guess. And in Paldea, we've got Sprigatito. But some things can overlap. Like I was saying, an early game dark type is a trope. We've got your Poochyenas, you've got your Nickets, and I think Purloin also counts, even though it's also a regional cat. So some things can overlap, some things can't. Like some things can overlap with stars, as I said. Litten is the cat, so is Sprigatito, I think. I don't know if there is going to be another cat in Paldea. Or another dog, or multiple bugs, or multiple early normal types. We don't know. But what we do know is that Sprigatito is one. We know that Alola, outside of Meowth and Litten, didn't have any cats, so perhaps there was overlap there. And yeah, but something that doesn't get overlap is the regional bird with starters, because Rowlet is a bird. We're in agreement owls are birds, right? Jet Strike, we're not going to discuss leaks. We do know things based on leaks. I know that. Honestly, if you want to talk about leaks with me, my DMs are open. I'm fine with leaks. It's just I want to keep my content spheres leak free, because people may not want that. Oh yeah, no, Rowlet is the regional bug. It's not bug type, but it's the regional bug. But yeah, owls are birds. Rowlet is an owl. However, the regional bird of Alola is toucanon. Now, we can have multiple regional birds, because Kanto had multiple. I think, I mean, there's plenty of bird Pokemon across thing, but, the main early bird Pokemon, Rowlet could have counted, but it didn't, because we've got toucanon, if that makes sense. Unless if they thought Rowlet does count, but I don't think they did. And plus, Rowlet loses the flying type. Early game birds always have the flying type by the end. Whether they're always also dual type by the end. Funnily enough, yeah, because they're all either normal flying or fire flying or steel flying. But yeah, so had an idea and want my input. Trial Pokemon are the ace of the gym leaders. They can only be brought in after you beat the gym leader and have the badge. So along with being able to train Pokemon of a higher level, you can also catch the trial Pokemon. Interesting. I think it's interesting. Speaking of ace Pokemon, over the next week on my Instagram, starting on Monday. Yeah, the Croneo region is not pausing for the Queen's funeral, can I just say? Queen has nothing to do with the Croneo region. So yeah, we are continuing regardless of what everyone else has to say. Of course, if the death of the Queen has affected you, my condolences for you and also for the family and all that. If the death of the Queen is something that you want to celebrate, that is your right. If it's something that you want to mourn, that is your right. If it's something you're indifferent about, like me, that is also your right. But I don't think I should not do anything on Monday because of the funeral. Also, my university was cancelled for Monday. My classes were cancelled. I was supposed to start on Monday, but then the Queen's funeral was happening. So I'm starting on Tuesday instead. Late night comedy shows have stopped. Yes, they have. So only comedy that has paused for the funeral. No, a lot of other things have paused. Comedy, I think, legally has to be paused, but other things have been paused out of respect, and out of respect not just for the royal family, but out of respect for the people who wish to mourn that day due to the fact that the funeral is happening that day. So stuff like my university classes are just not happening. Yeah, fair enough. And also, due to the Queen's death, stuff to do with the Nintendo Direct kind of changed, which, based on the new Zelda game's title, fair enough. I remember people going like, "Okay, what happens in this new Fire Emblem game?" And there was a new Fire Emblem game, but no regicide. But yeah. But yeah, late night comedy shows have stopped because why be funny in a time of mourning? But I personally disagree with that. But that's my opinion. In my opinion, the best way to tackle grief is through comedy. Um, that is my opinion. I personally think, of course, certain topics probably like if like I would understand if it was certain topics in comedy, but if it was just if it, I don't agree with all comedy being uh temporarily banned. Because I think, when I'm sad, a bit of comedy cheers me up. You did read that lore for the Snorlax variant. Yeah, it's yeah, I think it's a fun variant. It did. If you actually look at the evolution method, that is what is happening. And something that I feel like Fakemon creators either understand or don't is that Pokemon likes to have really weird stuff. Like, if you, I mean, look at Gen 8. I mean, you look at Legends Arceus. It's got very much. I say Legends Arceus. It's only really Basculegion where it's very specific, but also Ursaluna's very specific, and it's like Weirdeer and Overquill also have kind of it's utilizing a new mechanic, so fair enough. But like Basculegion and Runerigus have really weird stuff. Also, Surfetched, stuff like that. And Pokemon have quite unique triggers for evolution now. And I wanted to emulate that with Croneo and Snorlax. It's more like you are what made what you eat. Yeah. I mean, it's also honey. It's a bee, and it's also honey, and it's also a Snorlax. Funnily enough, I was originally going to go for that for my regional rodent, but that didn't happen. Yeah, Brunerigus evolution method is so weird. It's very doable though. It's not actually that difficult, and plus, neither is Basculegion. Funnily enough, I think the most difficult evolution method in uh in Gen 8 is Surfetched, because I've never done it because I've tried doing it and it was not easy. I had to have a friend trade me one. She was fine trading me it, but but now for my living decks, I'm using for my living decks. I've got Ashes Surfetched downloaded, so that's fun. Oh yeah, I'm doing a living decks challenge, and it's hell. I might actually make a video on it. I know Birdkeeper well, I'm basing mine a bit off Birdkeeper Toby, but I'm doing different things. Like most of the evolutions from Kantomon will actually be from Let's Go. I'm incorporating Pokemon Go in a different way. I'm also trying to go in reverse as much as possible when it comes to regional variants, Something that surprised you about Runerigus is that it's based on like death rituals, for a lack of a better term, during Viking time. Yeah, like dark stuff can be referenced in Pokemon, in my opinion. Like I can totally see Pokemon doing something like Musifer, for example. The leak item raises the critical hit chance for both Farfetch and Surfetch, makes it extremely easy. I did not know that at the time, so fair enough. But it's like you have to get it all in one battle, and that's another layer. That is the layer that I was struggling with more. The other layer just wasn't helping. So also, did you spell leak right first, or did you not? I don't know. I don't know how to spell things. I am not smart. But yeah. I mean, I've got Ash's one anyway. That's what matters. I've also got Ash's Lucario. I think the distribution started yesterday. So if you want that, go ahead. Check out Cerebi for more details because whenever distribution news happens, I always find it out first on like Cerebi's Instagram, and then I just type in the code, download it, done. But yeah, like my Dragonite and my Gengar in Pokemon Home are Ashes, and originally I was just gonna have them be from Gen 1 or Gen 1 Virtual Console. But actually the fact that they're Ashes is more special to me. It's like the Greninja in from the Sun and Moon demo. Imagine having Pokemon not being banned in your country. Oh, is it banned in Egypt? Huh. Pokemon is fun and should not be banned. Also, release Porygon Z from its prison. Since my region is based on Scotland, I should make a haggis Pokemon that looks like myths about the animal haggis comes from. It comes from a sheep, but everyone's heard myths about it. Funnily enough, I was already planning that, and you may be shocked to find out what Pokemon I'm doing based on a haggis. Um, I'm 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 not gonna blow my load too early, but first of all, hopefully you'll see it by the end of the year. Second of all, I am looking forward to trying to figure that one out. Um Actually, should I say it? Should I say it? I will say it's a regional variant, and it's an interesting region. It's an interesting case of a regional variant, in my opinion. Apparently, other countries are having Pokemon cards from McDonald's, Happy Meal toys. Yeah, I tried getting that, but I ended up getting Paddington. And I'm just like, why? And I think I got there too early. A regional variant, yeah. Um, let's just say it's a regional variant that was already based on tropey things, so I might as well make it also tropey while also fitting in as being a regional variant of that Pokemon. If that makes sense. And yeah, it will be monotype the whole way through. If you want more cards, you go to your local Tesco. Yeah. If I want Pokemon cards, I'd just go to game, pretty much. Speaking of going to game, uh my partner and I bought Sleeping Pikachu. Not Pikachu? It's Eevee. Why did I get that wrong? Eevee's my favorite Pokemon. But Sleeping Eevee from Game. Game is the main store that sells video games in the UK. Other stores do it too. Like I'm pretty sure Tesco does, and uh Smith's does as well. Yeah, Eevee is so cute. Look at its beans. Look at its beans, and it's playing peekaboo. I'm gonna put it down now. Yeah. Okay, what were you laughing at? The fact that I called it a Pikachu, or me playing with it, or the Haggis regional variant? Oh, a list of Pokemon that it could be. Um, um, I'll give you a list. It's any of the Pokemon introduced in Gen 8, as well as any um evolution or pre-evolutions that it had or they had from other gens. So say if it was Weirdeer, for example, it would be it like I would include Statler in that list too. Or if it was like Obstagoon, which it's not Obstagoon, you know it's not Obstagoon, because I've already spoken about Croneo and Obstagoon. Then I'd also count Zigzagoon and Linoon in that list. It's not Wooloo. I'm doing something else with Wooloo, but it's not Wooloo. That would be too obvious, though, to be honest. Like, I'm doing a Haggis Pokemon. It's a regional variant of a Mon from Galar. Oh, what's Haggis made of? Sheep. Hmm. What does that even mean? Are you on about Haggis, or my explanation of what the Haggis Mon could even be? I will. Yeah, what the list could be. Basically, any Pokemon introduced in Gen 8, but the whole line is like I'm counting the whole evolutionary line, if that makes sense. When I say the whole evolutionary line, I mean like say a Pokemon was introduced in Gen 8, but it was an evolution of a Mon that was introduced in like Gen 1 or Gen 5 or Gen 2. I would also count the Mon that yeah. Yeah, if I was basing it off Weirdeer, or if it was a regional variant of Weirdeer, I'd count Stoutner in that list. Yeah, like a regional evolution. Like this one doesn't have a regional evolution. It is just two regional variants. It's a two-stage line, regional variants. Already crossed out some Mon, so it's not Corviknight. It's not any of the starters. It's, it's not Orbeetle. Um, it's not Obstagoon, but then again, you already knew that. It's not Ursaluna, because I've already revealed it's a two-stage line. Um, which, by the way, I find two-stage lines the easiest stuff to come up with. Because it's like small thing, big thing, easy. Middle things are always hard. And, yeah. Yeah, cross-gen evil. It might be Nickit and Thievul. It could be Nickit and Thievul. It could also not be Nickit and Thievul. I will say, with the two guesses so far, they were close in a way. Like, if you get it right, I may say yeah, but I may not. And I'm not saying this is right, and I'm not saying this is wrong. Something that has lore stuff. Not necessarily. I'm saying stuff that is like Pokemon that are very stereotypical depictions of what they're based on. Or rather, I guess the evolution is more stereotypical, and I'm basing Like, it's gonna be a Haggismon that evolves into bagpipes. Um, or rather, a bagpipe player. Hello. I'm explaining a regional variant that's based on the Haggis myth and bagpipes. It's a two-stage line, and it's a regional variant of at least one of the Pokemon is from Gen 8, maybe both. Remember they said in Sword and Shield, nick it in Wooloo's clothing. What's the Haggis myth? Gibster explained it in chat earlier. But the Haggis myth is like, so we all know what haggis is. It's a weird thing that we Scots eat. Not all of us eat it. Vegetarians do exist, and funnily enough, it's red meat, so I don't really eat haggis. I eat vegetarian haggis, to be fair, but like, uh, yeah. Anyway, um, haggis being made from sheep organs. Um, there is a myth that there is such a creature that is a wild haggis, like an animal that is just a haggis. Yeah, it's a myth that is that it's its own animal. Yeah, big fat animal with short front legs and long slender back legs. Yeah. A wild haggis. Yeah, that is the myth that wild haggis are a thing. It's not that deep, but hey, it makes for it's going to make for an interesting design idea, and then it will also be a piper. It'll be a piper in its evolution. I think it will keep the whole haggisy idea behind it. I will say it's not Wooloo and Dubwool. That would be too on the nose. And I am planning on doing something else with Wooloo and Dubwool. Um, a piper, bagpipe player. Yeah, I mean, I said it's going to be like it's based on something that already has a stereotypical depiction, so I might as well make it the stereotype, the Scottish stereotypes. Because like, if you're not going to do stereotypes in a Pokemon region, mind you, do it tastefully. Yeah, it's not a sheep. Yeah. Um it's weird. Like it should be a sheep mom, but no. I will probably have stuff in its lore about chasing down Wooloo. It's so it's not a sheep. Yeah, okay, stereotypes are good for making Pokemon because it's like if you look at it, you know what it is. And it's like as long as you don't do anything offensive with it. Like they accidentally did with Jinx, but oh well. I think Pokemon would have just been better if Jinx was never a thing, personally. Like, I'm not against Jinx's design. Honestly, I preferred it when it was before it went purple, but I get why they made the change because obviously that wouldn't stand. I think aesthetically, overall, I think it worked better with its concept and was more visually appealing. Problem is, it was just racist, so no. If you were to say the word Greece, what stereotype would I think of? Now, when if you mean the country, um, feta cheese is all I can think of. Also, an offensive stereotype I would think of is the fact that they're poor. Yeah, Jinx wasn't based on that, and I see that, and I'm like, yeah, its original design works with its concept, but it has connotations, and I think as long as you don't have stuff that's offensive in concept or offensive in execution, I think you're fine. Pokemon has failed on that at least once with Jinx. Um, But I think, personally, I think as long as you're not intending any harm, but also being careful so that you make sure you do not cause any at any stage, I think you're fine. Because I see a Pokemon based on the W word too much. I see it too much. I was gonna go that route myself, and then I found out about why it's a bad thing. And then I'm like, I'm gonna at least rethink what I'm doing and rethink my approach so I'm not basing it on that, you know? Jinx was meant to be an evolution, it was meant to get an evolution in Gen 4, but it got scrapped. Okay, I didn't know about that. I knew it was a counterpart to Electabuzz and Magmar. What's the W word? How do we describe it in chat without actually saying the word? Because I don't want to say the word because it's a protected word in both Canadian First Nations and in well Indigenous American and Canadian culture. Um, it's basically, I want to say, a demon from that culture. Okay, yeah, censoring the vowels. It is not an insult, but it is a demon from um their religion. That's how I'm going to describe it. Describing it very simply, and their religion is one of those religions where it's like you don't mess with it. So, oh yeah, and it's misrepresented in culture a lot. It's weird because I don't want to misrepresent it, but I also don't want to literally depict it in any close way. So I'm gonna have to try and find an inoffensive middle ground, which I think I've done, but I'm gonna be very careful. But it's gonna be like around the post game area. Like it's just a part of their religion, but it's offensive to try and deal with that. And hi, Oni boy, we're doing all right. Yeah, I'm definitely going for like a not deer aesthetic. Um, but it's also going to be bipedal in nature and also have elements that allude but not actually directly reference stuff that's like imagery that conveys the theme rather than imagery that conveys the actual thing I want to base it off, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like I'm not wanting it to be a literal depiction. I want it to be based on things that give off some sort of imagery, but don't actually directly represent or misrepresent. If that makes sense, it's a very fine line that I think is just like I've already like I don't think it's too hard to do, but it sounds really difficult, and it's like you just gotta make sure you don't do a misstep. But luckily, I've designed so many, or I've conceptualized so many fake mon to the point where just coming up with ideas and ideas until something finally like clicks works. So yeah, wonder how you should do the trial Pokemon. I mean, the way you described it works a lot. And the Galar Dex. Can I describe the Haggis creature once again? How it looks. Thing is, just because the Haggis creature looks a certain way doesn't actually mean it's gonna be depicted in a similar way um, with the Pokemon I'm basing it on. But it has, yeah, it's a fat animal, short front legs, long back legs. But that's not necessarily gonna be the case with this mon. It's gonna, I would want it to have somewhat long legs and shorter front legs. Um, but that doesn't mean to say I'm gonna make this mon quadrupedal. I might, but I might not. Just make sure. And I have actually teased it before. That's the funny thing. I've teased it in a video before. The art isn't done. So I gave a sort of silhouette of the mon I'm basing it on. Wouldn't the Trex be the closest animal to the wild haggis? What do you mean by Trex? Can you name every two-stage Galar Pokemon till you get it right? You can try, but it might be one of the last ones you come up with. It might be. Who knows? Why not keep it as a secret? I mean, I, I mean, probably. I'm probably going to keep it as a secret. Oh, a T-Rex. I mean, there's gonna be a T-Rex Pokemon in this region, but that's not gonna be one of them. And there isn't a T-Rex Gen 8 Pokemon. I mean, the T-Rex Pokemon appears in Gen 8, but there isn't a Gen 8 T-Rex Pokemon. Like, if I say what it is, you're all gonna kick yourself, and I don't want to say what it is now because I kind of want to keep it a secret, and I kind of want to keep you all in suspense because I'm evil. I will say that like the hint I gave that both the Nickit line and the Wooloo line were close in an aspect. Well, they were close in two aspects. One of the aspects is two stage, but there is another aspect that they both commonly share that this line shares. Something shrinking. No. It's not a case of something shrinking. Like, there is an attribute that both Pokemon share. Yamper and Boltund also share this attribute, but it's not them. To be honest, at this point, if someone guesses it right, I might as well say it because I'll be impressed. Like, you managed to get it right. Also, I mean, I've already done a regional variant of a Galar Pokemon in Obstagoon. But there will be more. Not just this Haggismon, but there'll be like two more lines that will be receiving attention from Galar. Well, I say from Galar. Actually, yeah, two lines from Galar. Outside of this and Obscure. This is fun. I'm having fun. Just gonna check Instagram. Wait, something shrink. Oh, sorry. Have you seen how animals would look if they were constructed like dinosaurs, like something shrinking? Maybe? I just didn't see that part initially. I'm sorry, Gibster. I'm an idiot. We've established I'm an idiot. The only thing I'm good at is creating Pokemon, basically. Um, yeah. Shrink wrapping? What an idea for collaboration between multiple regions. Can't do it yet, but hopefully by the end of the month or start of the next, you'll be able to. What sort of collab are you thinking? If I can bring anything to the table, I'm down for collabs. Like the reason I didn't do like the big ultimate fake one collab this year, which I was part of the Discord server for that. I just didn't really partake in the conversations because I thought I had to like, you know. Yeah, shrink wrapping is a thing where people draw animals based only off the bones, ignoring their muscles, similar to how some artists draw dinosaurs. Yeah. Also, people who are like, no, dinosaurs do not have feathers. Like, I don't like those people. Do you know what? To some of my Fossilmon, I'm gonna give them feathers because I don't care. It's a Pokemon region, but a cruise liner to different regions. Okay, I I don't know what I could do, but I'd be down for. I feel like I could help out there. Like if it's a case of people lending assets from their regions, yeah. I mean, yeah, you give your feathers. Yeah, I mean, not all of mine would have feathers, but then again, not all of mine are dinosaurs. Funnily enough, yeah. But Greece was under the ocean at the time of the dinosaur, so your fossil non your dinosaur so your fossil mon or mammal. Okay. Completely butchered the spelling. Pokemon is the Pokemon a reptile or mammal or bird or mollusk or amphibian or what? I will say it is a mammal. um T-Rex actually didn't have feathers except as a baby because we have impressions of its skin, but dinos with feathers are based. I think I will say my one of my Fossilmon. I know I'll talk to you about in DMs actually. They are mammals, yeah. I think most of my Fossilmon are mammals as well. I think the only ones that aren't are regional variants actually. Because yeah, I'm gonna do regional variants of Fossilmon. Do you want to know how that works? Wait like a bunch of months. Like wait 6 months, because that's not going to be ready for a while. You thought you could do a few at first, then have the ship land at different regions, giving highlights. Yeah, sure. Kufat and Copperaja, you're very close, but no. In what way are you very close? I'm not telling you, but you are very close. Speaking of Kufat, one of your favorite fossils is based on pygmy elephant, so you're going to make it have traits of other element Pokemon, including that. Oh, that's nice. I was actually yeah, sort of like an ancestor. Most of my Fossilmon will be ancestors because Scotland doesn't really have much of a prehistoric history. I am gonna try and reference that with a few mon, but I just don't think that can work with fossils. And I might even ditch one because it might not work as well, but hey ho. I'm definitely working on one right now based on the kind of dinosaurs that were most popular in the land that became Scotland. But alas, nah, no, not really. Not really. It's not really that like Scotland is not really known for its dinosaurs or importance in terms of dinosaurs. So I'm going for ancestors and maybe themes. So what about that catfish and wolf fisherman fake one? I'm not doing a catfish fake one. And for wolf fisherman, maybe. I'm I'm gonna try my best at making a wolver fake mon, and that could be part of it. Gag revived, yeah. Um Fossils aren't necessary. I'm doing fossils because I liked the idea of them being ancestors. Yeah, the Galar fossils are quite sad. Um, I personally don't think I would ever do the correct forms of those because they've been done a lot elsewhere. I feel like doing the correct forms of those would be kind of funny for my region because my region is based on Scotland and our whole national identity is like being better than England. So that's why our national animal is the unicorn. So yeah, I'm actually working on a game that's like Pokemon, but you don't have any fossil creatures. I mean, you don't need them. Squirtle and Greedent are the only mammal two-stage Galar Pokemon left. Meowth and Berserker, yes. The answer is them. Yep, Meowth's the Haggismon. You can tell I was making this during Gen 8 because I have a Meowth variant. And yeah. I'm not telling you what type it is. But yeah, Meowth and Berserker. The trait that I said was close with all those guesses is that they were monotype all the way through. I'm not gonna say what type it's gonna be. I'm not gonna reveal all my hand at once. You're gonna see it in a couple months anyway. But yeah, the when I said Kefant and Copperaja are gonna be close, it was because mono steel type. And no, it's not gonna be ghost. Yeah, sheep and organ type, totally. It's not gonna be ghost type, but it will be monotyped. It will be monotyped. Um, Originally, I was gonna have Croneo Berserker be fighting steel, but I decided against it because, well, A, I need more monotypes anyway, and B, you know, monotypes aren't, no, there isn't a single Meowth variant that isn't monotype. So I'm gonna keep with that trend, at least for now. Who knows what I might do in the future? But yeah, you got it right through brute force. No, it's not electric. I'm not gonna tell you, okay? What if I do the Wolver? You'll do the catfish since those live in Greece. Sure, go ahead. Like I've already got my Fishmon done, and it's not a catfish. But I like it. I like what I've done, and I think it's going to be popular. I got Dallara Region on Instagram to do it, and he previously did my Croneo Rata line, and that was quite popular. So, you know, I think I picked the right person. Yeah, is it really guessing if you guess everything? Yeah, I'm not gonna say what type it is. That I'm drawing a line under. Um, you have 3 Fishmon, including the catfish. I've got a secondary Fishmon myself, kinda. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be a concept that Game Freak hasn't done, and I haven't seen anyone done. I've seen people get close to it, but I've never seen anyone do something like that, like what I'm gonna do as clearly as I'm gonna do it. Considering making your water type cat line have catfish traits, but want more water elemental of it. I mean, you can do both. You can have a bit of catfishiness, but also water elemental. Um, I do think mythicals count. I think if Pokemon has used a type combination for an official Pokemon you can actually use just anywhere, yeah. Um but yeah, like, and if you say, oh, two of you don't count mythicals, that's a good way of saying, yeah, you're doing a water fire type. Uh you think it will be the type it will be. You are correct. You've been considering making the board cat not a starter anymore. I mean, do whatever you feel is best. A genius idea for a water fire has nothing to do with steam. I am all ears because I've been trying to think of a water fire type that doesn't have anything to do with steam. Star Pokemon in Tennessee meme that's just a possum, a skunk, and a raccoon. I don't know if I've seen. I think I might have seen that. It's kind of more of the reason for why Lobstew in the Freerun region is water and fire. Water and Fife type, specifically Pokemon from the town Fife. Um, but cookery, right? Cooking something in water, so just hot water. Don't mean the chef aspect. Then what do you mean? No, I'm probably not going to steal it. Combining a fish with a Greek fish that's actually has these cool patterns. What sort of patterns? Made you think of a lava lamp. Ooh. Okay, basing it off a lava lamp. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like I've seen people try to do a Spinder based on a lava lamp. I've just never seen Spinder as a sort of lava lamp Pokemon, but I can see why people think that. It's just that the spots are permanent on them. Lobster is an aquatic animal that has fire type due to having chef-like traits. Yes, yours is aquatic and a lava lamp. That's really cool. I've got a Pokemon that's kind of dumb for the reason why it's a certain type, and it is a Fishmon. Um, what I'm gonna say is that it's Steel Water and gives it you can probably think of the dumbest reason a Pokemon from Scotland would be Steel Water. Honestly, that surprised that Clauncher wasn't Water Fire. What was Clauncher? Was it just water? I can't remember what type of Clauncher was. Yeah, steel. I've got a Steel Water fish. Well, it's the weird one that I was on about. And it's not weird for this reason, but what it's based on. It's not rust. That would be not silly. It's Scottish. It's Scottish. Think about it. Steel, water. I don't know if that would be the actual the order of the types, but I'm saying it in this order to make you go, "Oh no, you're not actually doing this, are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing it." Surprise steel isn't weak to water. Yeah, it's not. Does it resist it? The water cat being a starter is kind of central to it, but I think it would be neat to have a raccoon, a skunk, and a possum as starters just for the meme, even though it's not based on Tennessee. That would be fun. I don't think the link actually came through. Could you DM me the link actually, Lucky? Gibster, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? A water I'm not making a stone. No, I'm not making a stoner. Not. No. That would be silly, but I don't see what a stoner has to do with steel and water. Mineral water. You're close. The reason why I'm saying it to Gibster specifically is because it is a Scottish thing, and I know Gibster's Scottish. Let's just say it is a drink. It is based on a drink. But it isn't mineral water. Not mineral. Steel. Steel is the metal type. And water, well, just it's a drink of some description. I think you've got it. I think you've got it. Yeah. But the thing is, that's just what the aesthetic of the line is going to be based on. The mechanics of what it is going to be something that's weird and something that Pokemon hasn't done before. But I'm like, I was already planning to have a Water Steel type. Why not actually just make it based on Iron Brew? Yeah, Iron Brew. And yes, that's how it is spelt on the can. If you scrap your starters and make them this, which you won't because you've seen someone else do the idea, you'd make the raccoon water type, the possum grass, and the skunk fire. That's cool. But since you've been having such a hard time picking a grass type star animal, you might just make a grass fairy skunk who produces good smells instead of bad ones. Yeah, I mean, if you make it a grass type skunk, but make it poison or dark, that's just Skuntank. But fairy, I think you're definitely like taking an element of an animal and flipping it on its head, or taking an element of something and flipping that idea on its head. That's kind of like why Jacket Terror is dark type, because I'm taking the idea of moths being attracted to light and flipping it on its head. But yeah, go for the skunk. Go for the skunk. Skunk rights. Skunk rights, everybody. That's hashtag skunk rights. Why not? Posting it in chat. Hashtag skunk rights. Um, you'd make a grass type skunk give people allergies. I mean, fairy types can be a bit mischievous. Like, it doesn't smell bad. Well, nobody knows because they're too busy sneezing. That's cute. They're cute and make strange noises. A lot of animals make strange noises. Um, um, yeah. Also, I found out how cute and amazing otters are. Like, I knew they were cute, I knew they were amazing, but they've become my favorite animal now after my partner showed me videos of otters. And that makes a lot of sense considering one of my favorite Pokemon is based on an otter. But now I'm in love with that Pokemon more. I swear, if I somehow end up liking Oshawott more than Eevee, something catastrophic will have happened. But still, I'm, you know, I mean, let's just say if they make a sleeping Oshawott plush, I will get one. Pretty sure you'll make a possum mom regardless of what it is because you love them. Yeah, that works. Hey, only boy, remember how you helped me? You can help again. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind discussions happening in chat. Or is it lovely? Have I seen how scary giant river otters are? Um, I've not seen how scary they are. Weasel is also based on an otter, but and is also one favorite. I thought it was based on a weasel, or am I mistaken? You want to say something, but you don't know how to say it. What is it about? Yeah. This is a sleeping Eevee stream now. Weasel's about. Yeah, I mean, I guess Sneasel is both a weevil and a cat. Or is it a weevil? I might. Yeah, it's a weevil because Weavile. An idea for a Pokemon, but you don't know what. You don't know what I do. I with Pokemon can be multiple things. It got the buoyant floating thing from otters. Weevils are a bug. Yeah, I was thinking that after I said that, and I'm like, it's called Weavile. You don't know what to do with it. Well, what's the concept, Jet Strike? Yeah. I'm gonna check. I'm hold on. Pokemon base also have it. I'm just why is it called Weavile then? Weasel, not Weevil. Yeah, that makes sense why it's called Sneasel, because it's a weasel. I'm dumb. I heard like I hear Weavile in my head and I'm like, Weevil. No, it's a weasel. It's also a cat. I'm pretty confident in the fact that it's a cat as well. I mean, not just because of Loxton's video, but because it's been featured on art. Yeah, it's a vile weasel. Yeah, I know. Weasel plus evil. Yeah, but I think it's Weavile because it's vile, because it's a dark type. Do you like Sneasler? Um, even though you hate Weavile. Also, like Sneasel is a cat. Well, I'm just gonna say, if Sneasel appears on art with other cat Pokemon, so if it's not a cat, why is it there? And I know Trubbish was also on that art, but shush. Like that's just a funny thing to add. Why Sneasel when everything else other than Trubbish is a cat? Like, and it hates you too. I mean, yeah, it's a dark type. It hates most things. And yeah, Sneasler, I mean, I don't like the name. I think Sneasler's cool. I think I like Sneasler more as an evolution because it's got a bit more flair to it, and its body type is more different. Part of me always thought that Weavile had a mega evolution, but part of that could just be that Weavile just looks like a mega Sneasel. In ancient Egypt, water was seen as an element of evil, and it was associated with an ancient Egyptian god of chaos. And so you want to make a dark type Pokemon, but instead of being dark, it's water type. Could be dark water. Could be a water type. Oh, the snake god or the crocodile god. Based on like deep sea or deep dark pools, make it a vase that looks like god of chaos. Thought water was considered good because of the Nile and the desert was evil and chaos. Apotheosis. This is a whole conversation, and I'm like, oh, I'm semi lost. So snake, a dark water snake. You could either make it a regional variant of a Snakemon, or you could make it a brand new Snakemon. I think that could work. Did you know Soon Sneasel is poison type because one of the earliest recorded venomous animals was actually a mammal? I think I might have known that, but I do know other reasons why it's poison type and fighting type, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I just know Loxin did a video on it and everything like sort of clicked. Oh, I've got an idea. You could make it ice type because you were struggling. Because you were saying earlier you were struggling with ice types, and you know, ice type doesn't just represent the cold, but it something people commonly think with ice type is that it represents cold water, just really cold water, frozen water, and it's like that's not exclusively the thing, but it can. So yeah, that could work as an idea. Do a long skink, a mix of serpent and crocodile. Okay. I'm gonna be on here for another half an hour. Because my streams are usually 2.5 hours long anyway. I just checked Twitter. I wish I didn't. I saw Mr. Burns as a Catboy, and I regret just clicking on Twitter. But I will check on Instagram to see if I got any DMs from artists. I do not. I do hope I can get next month's Croneo video out. Well, next month. But yeah, this I got sidetracked with talking about the Queen's funeral earlier when I was trying to say this. But this coming week I will be posting the ace of the fire type gym leader. And it is a regional variant of a fire type Pokemon. But its secondary type or primary type or whatever, I can't remember which way around it is, but one of its types that isn't fire got changed to fairy. So it's going to be a fire fairy mon. In that same video that was going to appear in for this channel, but it's not going to until I'm able to, would be the ace for the normal type gym leader. And the normal type gym leader is having his art done now. But I probably won't show him off. I mean, I will probably show him off on Instagram via like stories and stuff because I always do that with new gym leaders once they're done. But yeah. In the next video, which will be out next month, I'll make sure of it. We'll see Brooke's ace on her team. Knows what it is. Yes. We'll see Brooke's ace, but we'll also see the ace of the water gym leader, which is the final stage of the regional fish, and also the ace of the flying gym leader, which is the regional bird. But like I don't think I had. I mean, would it be the regional bird? I could just make it not the regional bird. I'm gonna have a long think about that because that could be a game changer. Because part of me wasn't just wanting the regional bird, because I don't know. I think my regional bird might not actually fit my flying type gym leader's theme. But then again, no new Croneo Pokemon in theory would, apart from the flying type starter, which I don't actually want to do, or at least not now. If once I get to down the line, if I do a sequel, maybe, but no. So God, like because I do have a new weather, and I don't know how that'll work. A new weather, which is basically just strong winds, because Scotland's windy. I'm gonna have a new cast form for him. I'm gonna have new Pokemon benefit from wind. I'm gonna have like wind teams or wind-based Pokemon for wind-based team. So every gym leader have an ace that's a new mon. Every gym leader has an ace that will either be brand new or a regional variant. Or like regional evolution or new evolution, whatever. Every gym leader will have one. More often than not, it will be totally, completely brand new, but not always. I explained in the last video Fig's Pokemon. I debuted Fig, and their ace, depending on the version, both of them are brand new. So there's that. But the fire type gym leader, Charlotte, I mean I made it public on my Instagram, so if it's on my Instagram and or YouTube, it's public. Charlotte's gym leader. Oh, Charlotte's gym leader? No, Charlotte's ace will be a regional variant. What questions would I like to be asked? I wouldn't mind being asked about Pokemon that have been revealed so far, or what to expect from Pokemon that haven't really. That's the kind of questions that I'd expect to be asked. But you can ask me any question like, what's my favorite color? The answer would be purple. But you can just ask me anything, and I'll either answer it or not, depending on if I feel like it's worthy of being answered, basically. And I'm phrasing it like that because it's like, I don't want it to get too personal, but also, I also don't want to give too much away. Like, there's a lot of Croneo, so it's like there is a lot to discuss about the future. What do I think of sheep? Well, I'm from around Aberdeen, so Gibster will have an idea of what joke to tell. But I think sheep are fine. They can be cute. They were your favorite animals before camels. I think if I ever do a region based on Wales and possibly surrounding parts of England that are near Wales, a joke about people from Aberdeen and sheeps. Sheeps? Sheep is the plural of sheep. That is not the joke I was thinking, but I'm not gonna say the joke. If you want to know, I'll DM it to you. But yeah, I think it's weird. I'm doing sheep mom for Croneo, but if I ever did a Wales-based region, I would make a sheep fire starter. Um, Gibster, I'll DM you after the stream's over because it's because I don't want to be typing out midstream. But yeah. But yeah, one of my brand new mon is going to be a sheep, and I am going to be doing something with the Wooloo line. Not going to say what, just to keep you all guessing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting those done. It's going to be exciting. I'm just really excited to continue on with the Croneo region. I think worst case scenario, I might take a break after, or at least once the next two videos are done. But that's worst case scenario. New Evo trip wall. It is a new evolution, but that's not what it's going to be called. It's but yeah. It's definitely going to be different to my other sheepmon, I guess. I don't know. I am a bit tired. I could end the stream early, but I don't want to. I feel like that would be cheating y'all of 15 minutes of fun. Um It's like 10:44 for you. It's 9:44 for me. So I'm getting tired already. Which is not ideal. I mean, then again, I'm going to uni. I'm going back to uni soon, so like, yeah. And like, my classes start at 9 a.m. on Tuesdays, and I live like an hour away, so I'm gonna have to wake up like at 7 to catch the right bus. Like, it's not gonna be fun. Friend of yours called Tyler made concepts for your starters. Sort of ancient things become more modern, futuristic. That's a good theme. I think starters definitely need to fit a theme. Did mine? I sort of made a theme afterwards to try and justify it. Um, but I feel like stars definitely need to feel like they fit. So how strong your theme is, yeah, it would depend. Am I gonna finish the stream when it's 10 for me? Yeah. I tend to just stream for 2.5 hours. Because that's usually how much energy I have. Um Sometimes more, sometimes less. I mean, if I have more energy, I try and restrict it to 2.5 hours anyway. And I think it's a good length. Like, that's just how long they've usually been. So whenever I start, just know that my streams are just going to last for 2.5 hours. I want to know how many fake mon designs will appear in my next video, which will be next month. The answer is 13. There will be 13 designs, which is less than unused type combos 1. Precisely 10 less. There were 23 designs in that video. That's why it was half an hour long. Because it was just ridiculous. Wouldn't mix so many concepts in one region. School starts in 9 days for you and you're very scared. I mean, I don't know how old you are, so I can't exactly say how long left of school you have until you're free. Yeah, like Unused Type Combos 1 had 23 designs. It's because like only one was a single stage. Like, hold on. Or not even a single stage, just one-off design. Like there's like 2 3 stages, 2 other 3 stages, but they have like split evolutions at the end, and like 1 2 3 4 2 stages, and then one that it's just a single design because it's a regional variant of one Pokemon, but its pre-evolution wasn't a regional variant. But yeah, like, so that was a lot of designs. But you know, Unused Type Combos 2 was going to have a bit less. It was going to have 19, and it still will when it comes out. But I'm not going to have as many as that from now on. I think, yeah, I'm definitely going to try and keep it to a minimum. Because I don't want videos to get too long. Like, long form videos can be quite good, but they're a lot to make, and they'll take longer to make as well. And quite frankly, I like having the month-long wriggle room between videos, because it means I can just, make them, and it's just like, and that's if I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long, but also I don't want to make it so that when you get what you get, you're starved, um yeah. By the way, for those of you who saw Crony and Snorlax over the past day or two, do you think I should try and work with Elsteva again? Because I don't have any ideas that I would want done soon by them. But like, I don't know. I mean, Elsteva is a bit more on the expensive side, so I don't think I'd be getting a 3-stage line. But Because I'm looking and it's like the one that I feel like would be best to afford is one that I feel like would be best suited to another artist. Oh, Jet Strike, they are talking like Gibster and Oni Boy are talking about Gibster's region. And right now I'm thinking should I get the artist who did Croneo and Snorlax again? Because I'm thinking yes eventually, but I don't know when. It would be a while. I'm just looking at like my list of the order in which I am gonna be making videos from now on, and it's just like I'm excited. I am so excited. Who's the artist that did that? Elsteva 076, I believe. Chunky B Maker should come back. If I need 3D stuff, you'd be available. You haven't officially opened up, but it's on. I mean, I don't need any 3D assets right now. If anything, I'm more like trying to. Yeah, I got Elsteva. Yeah, his art's good. Elsteva was really adamant about a certain pose for Croneo and Snorlax. But I was like adamant of at least trying the pose we eventually went with, and he was almost reluctant. But I mean, I'm not against working with Elsteva again. Um, yeah, I'll probably commission Elsteva again. I don't know when. I don't know when. Um, Probably for around the time that because I've also commissioned Oscar Belmont, our Greywind for something, but I'm on a list. I'm on a waiting list. I paid for it all at once, which was a bit unusual. A bit of an unusual practice for Oscar. But I'm just like, well, I know I'm not going to do a refund. And I made that, and he made that clear that this is not refundable. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to refund. I just want the art. But yeah, LSF has been doing really good stuff, especially for hoops and hip hop. I also like most of the art that Elstev has done for Loxton as well, and it's like, you know, it's nice that I'm getting like fake mon artists that other people are using because it makes me feel like one of the big boys, even though I'm quite low on the chain at the moment. Elsteva's art has a signature look that makes it stand out. Yeah, it's got a very I don't know what it is. It's just like I think it's the way I think it's the way he does highlights. Yeah, I think it is the highlights that make it look like there's a certain texture to them. Have I heard of the Fake Mon YouTuber Deadbed Spread? I don't think so. I'm gonna look them up. It's all right, Fruity. By the way, Gabe, did you see that I posted your flying type evolution on the story and gave you a massive compliment? Because I really like the flying type evolution. I like the ground one too. I think your idea for a dust bunny evolution is just perfect. By the way, uh, I was going to do a dust bunny Pokemon, but I didn't really feel the concept. Also, it was going to be for a mega, so also thank you. It was gonna the Snorlax was going to appear in this month's video, but this month's video is being delayed until I can make it. But next month's video is still going to be out next month. It's not going to be carried over. But thank you for the Snorlax love. It's been really well received, and I do actually really have to thank Alistava for it, because I didn't initially pitch the bee concept. I pitched the honey concept. I was going to have megas in my region as well, but here's the thing: I've got too many concepts as is. I have to restrict myself. Megas as a whole were scrapped, so nope, that's not happening anymore. um, but I feel like, yeah, I think it's good. But yeah, I have to thank Alsteva for the bee concept. I mean, the concept was always, I say always, the concept was always a normal type that ate too much honey and became a normal bug type. Then it became Munchlax into Snorlax, and then Alsteva added the bee concept, and it was brilliant. It was so good. It was so good, and yeah, I'm I'm really excited to showcase more of the Croneo region, and if you follow my Instagram, you'll see stuff that hasn't been on YouTube yet, mainly because it was going to be for this month's video. But hey ho, that's going to be, yeah. You've got a good gimmick from my Scottish region. Drinking tea makes them stronger than a legendary. I've already thought of my gimmick. It is going to be move based. It is going to be battle mechanic based. I still need to iron out the kinks of that. That meme of the chubby kitten labeled full of milk points Snorlax full of honey. Yeah, it is full of honey. And I feel like, yeah. Oh, it's a joke, by the way. Yeah. But let's just say it's the crystals on the legendaries are not just aesthetic. There will be crystals. It'll be like sea crystals. They're not that important to the story. They're just a battle gimmick, really. I'll explain it someday when I've properly figured it out. I know it's just going to be a bunch of new moves, but it's like I don't want it to just be Z moves again. Okay. I'd be perfectly happy if a Pokemon game just didn't have a gimmick, because I don't really see the point in like adding gimmicks. That's why mine was kind of an afterthought. For my second region, I think I will probably have a gimmick thought of properly and then integrated, and then things properly planned out. And yeah. So my voice is starting to go. I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna call it last call for questions. Um Stream ends in less than a minute. I mean, it ends when I say it ends, really. Like, it's not a set time. It's like roughly 2.5 hours. Yeah. Gimmicks weren't really a thing until Gen 6. Yeah. And I want a game with the fairy type in it that doesn't have gimmicks. I want just I'm then again, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl was that, but I want a game that isn't just an old game but slightly worse. Honestly, They shouldn't have made BDSP. They should have just made like Sigma Platinum. Gen 2 had day and night. That's not really a gimmick. That's just a new feature because so did Gen 3 and Gen 4 and Gen 5 and Gen 6 and Gen 7 and Gen 8 and Gen 9. They all have day and night. What's my favorite food? I hate that question because I can never answer. I can never answer. Um, did PLA have a gimmick? Um, I would say the different style attacks, maybe. Yeah, it's not really a gimmick. I would say gimmicks only really happen in like the headline games. So like you've got your megas, you've got your Z moves, you've got your Gigantamax, Dynamax, what have you. You've got your terrestrializing, you know? It's weird. It's not like necessarily something that affects the way you fight. It's just it's not a change to the battle system. It's an addition to it that may affect your strategy, not necessarily the actual thing you're making your strategy about. Because like the different styles in PLA are battle focused, but it's less so focusing on something that can change the course of a battle, like megas or Z moves or Dynamax or terrestrializing. Like those affect the tide of the battle, not how the battle is fought itself, which is what PLA does. So it's like, yeah. I think I'm gonna go now. My voice hurts. I ran out of liquid to cleanse it, but it's been fun. Um, Also, one of these days, I would love to do a collaboration stream. Um, I'd prefer it to be the next stream I do, but it might not happen, obviously, because stuff. But if anyone wants to collab and actually, have a discussion, because talking just a one-way conversation pretty much is a bit straining on the throat. But it would be fun to bounce off another person. Uh, so I'm down to do that at some point. Uh, yeah. Also, what do I think of snails? Is there one of your favorite animals? Snails are nice. I mean, I've got a snail Pokemon, so yeah, yeah. Uh, Gabe, I'd love to do a collab stream with you specifically. It would be fun to discuss stuff. Um, I don't know what we talk about other than like just Fakemon generally, but I think it would be fun. Content creator to content creator. Um, Same thing with you, Gibster. But yeah, yeah, more just add on once megas. Yeah, but yeah, I I did want to do a stream this week. Regardless of if I was gonna delay stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm glad I did, and I don't know what I'm gonna release next week. Actually, I was thinking, maybe I could do another tier list video, but that one would take a bit longer. So probably in like 2 weeks' time, I'm gonna do a tier list video, and next week, uh, I could just I don't know what. Actually, before I go, give me an idea of something quick and easy to do next week. Kind of like last week's video. Oh, what do I think of barbecue sauce? It's nice. It's nice. Um, what what should I do next week? Because failing anything, I'll probably do another stream. But because I mean I don't think I have anything on next weekend on Saturday night. But um, do you know what? Yeah, next week I'm also going to do a stream singing the poker rap. That would involve me singing, and that is something I can't do, I'm afraid. Canadian Pokemon. But the thing is, I don't have any ready, Jetstrike. That's the thing. People ask me, oh, can I do something based on Croneo? There's a reason them monthly installments, because I cannot do them every week. Sing the poker rap. That could be something I could do on stream next week. Do you know what? Yeah, I'll stream next week and I'll try and sing the poker rap. I'll try and sing along to it and embarrass myself in front of you all because you're asking for it. You're wanting your ears to suffer. That's your choice. That's your choice. I'm gonna go now. But thank you all for watching. You just saw the saddest Spider-Man comic panel. Oh no. Oh no. But yeah, Gibster, I'm gonna tell you that joke over DMs. But thanks everyone for watching. We'll tune in next week. If it's gonna be a collab, sure. But I think Guess That Pokemon would work well as a collab actually. Pokemon TCG Race to Catch. That would involve me getting a TCG pack and multiple TCG packs, but I don't have unlimited money, so yeah. I'm gonna go now, and hopefully next week it could be a collaborative stream. It might not if it's solo. I mean, either way, I'm gonna do the poker app first. It's all right. See you next time, and in 2 weeks' time will be the next regular video, which will probably be the Hoenn tier list. So, but next week probably another stream. See you guys then.